If you can't do something, I think you're not free to do it. There is no way you could ever do it, which means you are completely unable to do it, which means you're totally unfree to do it. That person has $20,000. The car is $30,000. Are they free to buy the car right then?
I think they're always free to buy the car, no matter how much.
I think we have potential because we have freedom. I think freedom enables potential, right? We can go on to buy that $30,000 car because we have the ability to work. If we didn't have the ability to work, the freedom to work, then we wouldn't have the potential to go on to buy that $30,000 car. So like where I think we're mixed up is you think they're one and the same, where I think freedom is what allots us to have potential. I view freedom in a very positive liberty sense. I think freedom is the equal opportunity to act. You're more free when you have more ability to do the things you want. I don't think freedom is the removal of restrictions. I don't agree with freedom as like a negative liberty. I think that if nothing was stopping me from building a house, but I had none of the resources to build a house, I'm not free to build a house. I'm free to build a house if I have everything I need to build a house, right? So when it comes to freedom for me, it's positive liberty. And then when it's societal, you have to apply that to the most amount of people.
So you don't think someone who's allowed to build a house but don't have the resources are free to build a house?
No.
They're clearly free to build a house, right?
How free are they to build a house if they have nothing to do it?
They're allowed to. They just don't have the means.
But are they able to? Right. I don't think freedom is allowed. I think freedom is ability, is able, right? For me, freedom hinges on the ability, right?
So then you don't think, an overweight person is free to do a backflip.
To do what?
You don't think an overweight person is free to do a backflip in their own home?
Sure.
They don't have an ability. Clearly, they're free to do whatever acrobatics they want in their own house. So we can't hold freedom hostage to what people are able to do.
I do. I 100% think we do. Yeah, especially in a societal, especially in a societal lens. You're not free to do them. If you can't do something, I think you're not free to do it. There is no way you could ever do it, which means you are completely unable to do it, which means you're totally unfree to do it.
Okay, but what about all the things we couldn't do, but we discover later? You're still free to do them. You're free.
There's a difference between not being free to do something and not knowing that we can do it, right? That's not having the ability. That's not having the knowledge, right?
Okay, but let me give you an example. Let's imagine we said to NASA in the 1950s, you're not free to go to the moon. We couldn't go to the moon then. But later, they actually they built a rocket ship, they went to the moon.
Yes, they were free to go to the moon when they had the ability.
Free to go there.
They always had the potential to go there, right? But they weren't free to go there until they had the ability. I don't think freedom is in potential. I don't value potentiality very much.
Okay. Then we have different definitions of freedom. That's fine.
So, for instance, here's what I would pose to you. Who's more free in this situation, right? You take someone out of society and you drop them in the middle of nowhere, the desert, where there's no laws, no nothing. But there's also no resources or anything around them. They're completely alone, nothing but the clothes on their back. Who's freer, that person or someone in the middle of society who has the ability, who like in a society where whatever decision he wants to make, the society will help him get to the point where he can do that? Who has more freedom?
Yeah, I think the desert person is worse off but more free if there's restrictions on the society person.
Right. So we just have a core philosophical disagreement.
For example, if the society person is in jail, I would definitely think the desert person is more free than the other person, but maybe he has a worse quality of life, but that's something different for me. Quality of life isn't the same as freedom.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. I think freedom is the ability to act. I think someone in jail isn't free. I think that breaking the law, you in our society at least, it's set up where you give up your freedoms. But someone in a society in which they would always have the ability to act on their desires, I would think is obviously much more free to do what they want than the person in the middle of the desert that just doesn't have it. Even the person who is in a society that will help him act on any of his desires, but there are laws. There are heavy regulations, laws, restrictions imposed by the government. I still think that person is more free than the person in the desert with no resources, but no laws or anything, because how free is that person to do anything except for die, right? 9 out of 10 times that person just dies.
Yeah, but still, Like, would you say if someone is looking to buy a car for $30,000 and they have $20,000 and working, would you say to them, "You're not free to buy this car for $30,000"? You're not free to do that.
No, I would say you're not free to buy this car with the money you have. You have the potential. You have the potential to buy this car still at $30,000, but you're not free to do so now because you only have 20. That's what I would say.
No, but you're free to buy this car if you have enough resources.
That's not the word I would use. I would say you have the potential to buy this car. You could buy this car. You're not free to do so right now. Because let me ask you, that person has $20,000, right? That person has $20,000. The car is $30,000. Are they free to buy the car right then?
I think they're always free to buy the car, no matter how much money.
So they could walk up. They could walk up with their $20,000 and buy the car.
No.
Then I don't think they're free to do so.
They're free. They're free to, obviously, like, if you want to buy a car for 30,000, you can still work and earn that amount. So you're free to do whatever you want, even if you don't have the resources to do so at this current moment.
Yeah, no,
you can change your future.
I think then you're just placing the freedom value on potential, right? You're just thinking freedom is just potential. If you have potential to do something, then you have freedom, right? And I don't think that's the same, because a lot of potential goes unrealized. Most potential goes unrealized.
Yeah, but I would say if you have, like, absolutely most potential goes unrealized, but you like, if you pick a human being at any specific moment and say you have this potential, you could also say you have the freedom to do this. You have the freedom to go and study and become an astronaut.
Right. Well, at that point, it's just kind of semantics, right? Like, I understand that people semantically could, like, interchange words like potential and freedom and that. But if I'm thinking of, like, philosophically, like the essence of what freedom is, I think you're free when you can act on the things you want, right? I think the reason that we think, like, prisoners, people in jail, aren't free is because they can't do the things they want, right? They have to do everything they're told. They don't have the ability to act on their desires. Whereas freedom, those of us, like, outside of jail, are free somewhat to act on our desires, right? And I think the more we can do that, the more free we are.
Okay, but what would you call that if not, like, what I'm describing, what would you call that if not freedom?
Well, in terms of what you could do, I would call that potential.
Yeah, but potential is, for me, it's different, because you could have the potential to be the richest man in the world if someone gives you, like, if Elon Musk gave you all this money, you have the potential, but it's not the same as freedom.
So
freedom just means you're
this could be the disconnect. I think we have potential because we have freedom. I think freedom enables potential, right? We can go on to buy that $30,000 car because we have the ability to work. If we didn't have the ability to work, the freedom to work, then we wouldn't have the potential to go on to buy that $30,000 car. So, like, where I think we're mixed up is you think they're one and the same, where I think freedom is what allots us to have potential.